Hi, everybody. Hope you're doing great today. The question that I received that I'm going to answer, the question is, do we need to ask for protection? So energy protection. Do we need to ask for it? I'm going to be working with my spirit guides. I have so many experiences when it comes to energy protection, and I've also grown a lot over the years, so I don't even ask for energy protection because I have nothing that I need to protect myself from. And you'll get to that point because you get so strong in your own light and the understanding of how the dynamics of an infinite universe work that you're actually connected to everything. And so you're really just fearing yourself, needing protection from yourself is really what it equates to. But you have to work your way towards that. And I know when I started in this realm and when I was really getting into the thick of things and doing energy work for people, I left my full-time job and then I had to face a psychic attack experience, and it was very, very hard. And I was really filling up on the crystals because I couldn't be the energy that I needed in order to keep myself balanced through all of this. I was constantly taking walks. I couldn't sleep at night. I wasn't eating. I was covered in crystals all the time. I was constantly speaking over and over and over again, Archangel Michael, Archangel Raphael. I was just like, say all the archangel names, because that would help me stay vibrationally afloat through an experience I'd never had before. I didn't even know why I was having it, but I wasn't going to let it defeat me, although I felt pretty defeated by it. And I even endured some post-traumatic stress after I actually conquered it. And I endured that for about 2 years because I couldn't fall asleep at night. I would shake. Every time I get into bed, I would shake because that's when things would really amp up. This was back in 2016. And so energy protection, here I am, somebody who's been through the thick of really scary experiences where you feel like energy protection is a requirement. Well, it is if you're afraid, okay? If you're afraid, which I was because I was going through a very fearful experience, now I sought energy protection. I sought crystals. I sought archangels. I sought Reiki healing videos. I sought whatever I could get access to that would continue to circulate all of this scary stuff to help me feel safe, even feel safe. So again, I'm at a point, I've faced so much stuff, and believe it or not, you face so much stuff that all the kind of demonic things become quite boring. Because they don't really phase you, and you understand where it all comes from, and you understand where your energetic boundaries are because you just have them. Nobody needs to be in your energy field, all right? But there's many different dynamics of what that even means, because I can consciously project myself anywhere into the universe, so it appears as though I'm in the energy field of that consciousness projection, but really everything is just inside yourself. One of the examples I'm going to give about that, I've had a recent experience with interdimensional being that I call somebody. And, I get interdimensional visitors and I don't really know why they're attracted to me at the time. But this interdimensional visitor has been peculiar. Somebody seems to want to communicate with me from the inside of myself. And so kind of take over my mind and my speech and then kind of take over my body kind of thing. It's like, no. So I don't need you to be inside myself taking over me. I need you to be outside having a conversation with me. That's my comfort zone. So I'm finding out that, there's all different types of life forms in an interdimensional universe. And you could see somebody much like Venom, I think is the name. It's like a Marvel character where you have this like extraterrestrial made out of a goo, and then that goo kind of absorbs into this man and they start living like a life together. So that's what this somebody represents to me, is a being that relates to not being independent, but being part of a body of some other living thing. So is that demonic? Is that its style? Is there a learning curve here? Does it require interdimensional conversation? So do you see the complexities of how you can grow when you start to open up to your own psychic ability and wanting to know about psychic protection. So it really depends on where are you at in your comfort zone of being a part of the whole universe, not just externally, but internally. And so sometimes I find myself talking about things that are convenient for this example, but then it might go against the grains for this example, because every single thing has kind of its own unique glimmer of the divine truth. Okay, so there's just like totally a lot of divine truths, and sometimes they overlap and sometimes they counteract one another. It all depends on what the circumstance is. I'm going to give you another example. So divine truth that might sound like, okay, it works here, but it doesn't work here. How come that's the case? And I'm talking about demonic beings. Sometimes you can have a demonic influence. And so really what creates a demon is a break. All right. So demonic influence comes from a broken sense of self. So now that broken sense of self now is interacting with you, but you have a broken sense of self as well. That's why you're paralleling. That's why you're working together. So sending them love is actually going to help mend what is inside, and it could be enough to just mend the entire thing. But you should also be mending yourself too at the same time. But that's not always the case. You don't always have to work on yourself in order to heal a demon. Sometimes you just need to go interact, and through that exchange, you learn some things about why they're broken that actually sets them free, could set you free unsuspectingly. So it wasn't like you were focusing so much on yourself. You're just generating love and light and getting into the thick of what happened to you, why you're attracted to me. You see how the advancement here in conversation, it's not just sending energy. It's good to get to the root of things. It's like talking to people versus just assuming and sending like prayers. It's like getting to the root of whatever they're going through and actually trying to work through those problems. So the counter is send love and light to the demon, transform it, set it free. But the demon is still there. So it doesn't always work. Sometimes you have to talk to the demon to find out why it's there. But then sometimes you have to work on yourself as well. And we don't know what all the weird dynamics are. And sometimes the demon is you. That also is a projection of the ego to create an experience that challenges yourself from growing, because the ego is terrified of growth. So how do you energetically protect yourself from yourself? I'm telling you, there's 1,000 things I could say on this topic. And I really appreciate getting this question here. You know, I just babbled on a bunch of stuff. Did you catch all of that? Are you taking notes? All right, so do we need to ask for protection? Protection. I right now I'm actually just like, I'm shifting gears completely. So this is the segment of the video where I'm just going to be quiet. And then I just want to see how my spirit guides want to prompt some new information, new perspective. So it takes me just a second to shift. So give me a moment here. I have to let go of everything I just said. Letting go of everything that is human, identity, all that stuff. Nothing is real but the question. Tuning into my spirit guides now. And just wholeheartedly asking them without knowing anything. What do you guys think? Do we need to ask for protection? They're talking about taking risks on a very human level. So do you need to protect yourself from buying a car from that dealership? Or do you just need to take a risk and buy the dang car? Do you need to protect yourself from applying for a job at a company it's going to be a burden? You protect yourself from burdens. How about you're single, you're dating? Do you need to protect yourself from potential date that might not be what you want it to be? Could have a really bad outcome. And protect yourself from life. Are you safe to take risks? Are you safe to learn from those risks? Do you need to protect yourself from risk? They show me a human being They show me a child, but they show me it in multiple ways. And for one way they show it to me is the child is free to make mistakes, is free to be completely exploratory of their world, even if it's frightful. And they might seek help, but they know that on some level they have to just keep navigating. That the older you get, the more tired of the problems you become, and you want to control things more. And so I see this child is free to live life completely and take all the damage that comes with it, and contemplate it, even where we don't think kids are so thoughtful. They can be very perceptive and very thoughtful. And they do find a voice inside their own mind that asks questions about things and then speaks those questions out loud, seeking guidance. Just like any one of us, doesn't matter your age, you know. But the difficult thing is they show me adults that they're like children that don't want to grow anymore. It hurts my heart, to be honest, to look at it. I recently saw, I don't know why it's hard to talk about it. I was recently looking into a very difficult circumstance. It was kind of manifested by a person and didn't have the best traits, okay? And when I looked into this person, they were only a tiny little piece of dust of their inner child. And that was the totality of what was animating their body through a big gooey thing. Kind of reminds me of somebody, is same concept. Another inspiration helps you get through your life. So imagine being a frightened child and working with an energy that makes you feel strong or protected. So you don't know how to be strong or to protect yourself, so you welcome an energy in to be that for you. And now you share a life together, but you've lost your growth. So you're just a tiny piece of dust of the inner child of what you were. But now when I pull that energy out, put that energy into a cube and hand it to Archangel Metatron, now you are an adult having to return to the body. And now how do you grow? When you didn't even know yourself, you didn't even realize how much you didn't know, because you adopted that influence. Because all along you were always trying to be tough and protect yourself, but it wasn't you that was doing it. It was something else. That I can't give you all the specific details, but that's the synopsis of the circumstance. And it was a bit dumbfounding. And I thought the timing was interesting because I've been exploring who this somebody is. And then here, just like the universe, they present you with circumstances that actually show you into the mirror of things that are going on in your life. And there's no coincidence. You know what I mean? So when they show me this child that's fearless and going through life, they also show me this child. And it really reminds me of this look into this person and the removal of that energy, because I was guided to. And then the return of their spark into their own body, but there was this inability to really know how to adapt to their identity, because their identity was so childlike and sweet, but it hadn't really grown into their age. So there's work to do there. But there's more to this picture my guides are showing me. There's more to it. Now time standing still. Imagine being a child and never moving. You wouldn't have an opportunity to face fears. And then what is the blessing in life? The opportunity to face fears. Even showing me a human being taken care of in a wheelchair and can't take care of themselves. So an entire life devoted to being cared for. The blessing isn't getting to be cared for so much as it would be for somebody who would love to have an experience where they don't have to do everything and all the responsibility could go away. But now here in this circumstance, longing for challenge, longing to embrace your own 2 feet, longing to embrace life, longing to run, longing to feed yourself, longing to, and not being able to. With all its mistakes and all its risks and fearful moments is the pleasure of living, right? So my guides are talking about protection in this way to get you thinking. Do you need to ask for protection? So what's your answer to that? Like if you were to talk to my guides and say, I see your point, but what about this circumstance? And my guides are kind of revolving the door back to Abbey talking about the psychic attack. Did she need to ask for protection? So let's explore it. Whether I needed to or not, I did. So I guess I decided I did need it, you know. But it was me having to navigate the impossible, and I felt very alone, and it was terrifying. And let me see what they say about this. This is their advice. They put me back into my shoes, back in time. And the one thing I wasn't capable of doing was relaxing and feeling safe in a scary experience. That when you relax in a scary experience, you become stronger. And so is it the protection you need, or is it to give yourself relaxation? Start to show me the power of teaching yourself meditation or relaxing your breathing. Like imagine having a panic attack and you're losing your breath. You have to find a way to get your breath back. You have to find a way to relax, right? Calm yourself. Still the choppy waters of your emotional ocean. Goose fraba. You have to find a way to get your breath back because you need it to live, right? To embrace life. So they want to take a kind of a twist on this. Do you need protection to embrace life? And they kind of like take, do I need protection to embrace life? And do I need protection? And then they just like take that and they just, embrace life. They just embrace life. So they're going to let you digest that. Digest the words embrace life. Embrace the risk. Embrace the upsets. Embrace the disappointments. Embrace the growth. Embrace what you're capable of. They even say about that circumstance, I wish I could tell you more of the details, but I got to keep it but private. If that is the life path for you to face childlike experience, feeling fearful and working with something, maybe consciously or not even aware, welcoming an energy in to make you feel stronger, tougher. Is the strength that you carry true strength? Or is it the illusion of strength? Self-assessment here. Ego creates the illusions, right? But heart creates the authenticity. So do you need to protect yourself from being your authentic self? You know what I'm saying? What masks are you wearing to protect yourself from being your authentic self? What lies do you require to speak to protect yourself from people knowing the truth, and how that might harm the well-being of the established life you've created? Are you protecting others then by protecting yourself through lying, for instance? And so what does embrace life mean? don't deny yourself hard times. Like, don't try to avoid them. And if it gets hard, you're strong enough. And stay true to the authenticity of what you're experiencing, what you're facing, and let yourself enjoy the adventure of learning. And you are always strong enough. And they're really emphasizing, no matter what you're going through, you are always strong enough. You wouldn't be going through it if you weren't strong enough. So that says something, you know? So if you're going through a really bad time, you're strong enough. That's a compliment. Yay, I get to be strong enough to go through these hard times. But you're learning and you're growing. You don't need protection. You need your authenticity. That's what they're presenting to us. So, conversation complete. I hope this is a helpful answer. And I'm so glad you asked. And give you a lot of different perspectives between the spirit realm and the human world. They kind of blend together, don't they? I wish you all a very beautiful day. If you're interested in having me support you in a psychic session, I share psychic wisdom and energy healing. I'm all about the wisdom and the healing. And you can book a session at my website at abbeynormalswisdomquest.com. You can also find me on Patreon. I got themes going, something new every month. Lots of live streams happening. Check it out, patreon.com/abbeynormalswisdomquest. Have a great day.